In the heart of a war-torn country, where the echoes of battle seemed to never fade, there lived a young soldier named Elias. He wasn't a hero by birth, nor did he seek the glory that often accompanies tales of war. Elias was just a simple man, thrust into the chaos of a conflict that had torn his homeland apart. Elias was part of a small unit tasked with a mission that seemed impossible, to hold a critical bridge that separated the enemy from advancing into their capital. The bridge, once a symbol of unity and peace, had now become the last line of defense. Days turned into nights as Elias and his comrades fortified their position. The enemy was closing in, and they knew that when the time came, they would be outnumbered, outgunned, and possibly forgotten. But they stood their ground, not for themselves, but for the countless lives that depended on their sacrifice. In the quiet moments, Elias would write letters to his family, letters he feared they might never receive. He wrote about the beauty of the sunrise over the bridge, the camaraderie among the men, and the hope that, one day, this war would end, and peace would return. The day finally came. The ground trembled under the weight of approaching tanks, and the sky was filled with the ominous hum of enemy aircraft. Elias looked at his comrades, and in their eyes, he saw the same resolve that burned within him. They knew what was at stake. The battle that followed was fierce. Bullets whizzed through the air, explosions shook the ground, and the bridge became a battlefield drenched in blood and sweat. Elias fought with a determination he didn't know he possessed, driven by the thought of protecting those he loved. Hours later, as the smoke began to clear, the enemy forces had been repelled, but at a great cost. Elias lay on the ground, gravely injured, his vision fading as he looked up at the sky. The bridge had held, but many of his comrades had fallen. In that moment, Elias felt a strange sense of peace. He had done his duty, and his sacrifice, like that of so many others, would not be in vain. Elias survived that day, though the scars of war would remain with him forever. The bridge, once a battleground, became a monument to the bravery of those who stood their ground against overwhelming odds. It stood as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, courage and sacrifice can light the way to a better future. And so, the story of Elias and the bridge lived on, a tale of silent valor in a world that so desperately needed hope. It is in these stories that we find the strength to carry on, to remember the past, and to honor those who gave everything for the sake of others. In memory of all who have sacrificed for peace.